Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikki and today we're going to make some pasta. So I have some water that's not quite boiling yet in the pot. So I'm adding some salt so that we can add some flavor to the pasta when we put it in. Now this sauce that I'm going to show you I got from Whole Foods. It is so delicious. It's called roasted garlic alfredo. That is really delicious. Pasta sauce. So what we're doing is we're putting a little bit into my saucepan so that we can heat it up. And I'm only putting a little because it's just me that I'm cooking for. So this time, we just need a little bit. And also the heat should be on medium to low for the sauce. And for the water, we want it pretty high because we want that water to boil. And I'm adding a little seasoned salt, Lorry seasoned salt, because we want to give the sauce a little bit more of a kick. And usually how I determine what I'm seasoning needs is by smelling it first. And then I smell the seasons to see if they'll complement each other. So I put some fresh ground pepper, and now that is garlic powder. I also got that garlic powder garlic powder comes from Whole Foods as well. So now that we have added our seasons, we want to stir the sauce a little bit, especially if you add your own seasoning, because you want those flavors to begin to marry and marinate. Okay, so the pasta sauce is simmering a little bit. The water is almost boiling. So I like to add olives to the sauce because olives also give the pasta sauce some added flavor. So if you don't like olives, you don't have to put the olives in, but I do. And then once you put the olives in, you also, again, you want to stir it around. So the water is boiling, so we're going to add our pasta. I got that pasta from Whole Foods as well. And I like to break the pasta in half because it's easier. I find it's easier to eat that way. But if you want to put the noodles in there whole, you can. But I always break them in half. And you want to stir your pasta as soon as you put it in the water because otherwise the noodles can begin to stick. And we don't want to do that. So you want to, I took a fork and we are just moving those noodles around in the water. So it's been about 10 minutes. So I've drained the water. And this part I really like. So we take a skillet, we put the heat on medium to low, and we heat up the olive oil in the skillet. The way I tell if olive oil is hot enough is by the way it moves around in the pan. So if it starts to move around a little bit like water, then it's warm. You don't want your olive oil to get too hot. And then I put the drained noodles in the olive oil on the skillet. And this helps the pasta sauce become a little bit more creamy. And I love the way olive oil tastes on pasta. So this part is really good. So I just, for about maybe a few minutes, 3 to 4 minutes. I stir the noodles in with the olive oil. Add a little bit more salt. And the salt is mainly for the olive oil to give it a little bit more flavor. And I like to add Parmesan cheese to melt it a little bit so you can see the cheese melting on that pasta. But I only leave the cheese in there for maybe about a minute because you don't want the cheese to start to burn. You just want it to slightly melt. So after the cheese is slightly melted, you want to remove the pasta, put it on your plate or your bowl or however you want to eat your pasta. And then you add your sauce. I like to put it right on top. Make sure I get all my olives. And there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching.